بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما تعلمنا وزدنا بفضلك علما وتعليما إنك على كل شيء قدير. So he says باب الغسل المسنون عن ابن عمر قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا جاء أحدكم الجمعة فليغتسل أخرجاه. وعن عائشة قالت كان الناس ينتابون الجمعة من منازلهم. They used to come from their houses. ومن العوالي from up the hills. فيأتون في العباء يصيبهم الغبار والعرق فتخرج منهم الريح. Right? الغبار, the generic dust. الريح, right? The generic smell. فأتى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إنسان منهم وهو عندي فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لو أنكم تطهرتم ليومكم هذا أخرجاه. Right? If only you would purify yourself for this day, you smell. So this tells us obviously that the default is أحكام معللة. Right? أحكام معللة, there's a reason. Right? وعن الحسن البصري عن سمرة بن جندب أن نبي الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من توضأ للجمعة فبها ونعمت ومن اغتسل فذلك أفضل. رواه أحمد وأبو داود والنسائي والترمذي وقال حسن. ورواه بعضهم عن قتادة عن الحسن مرسلا. رواه ابن ماجه من حديث جابر سمرة وأنس. Okay, so the point is there's this hadith that there's an amr to do ghusl and there's a reason for it, and there's also that there's a dispensation that is not obligation. وعن ابن عباس كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يغتسل يوم الفطر ويوم الأضحى. رواه ابن ماجه وفي إسناده جبارة بن المغلس وحجاج بن تميم وهما ضعيفان. ورواه من حديث al-Faqih بن سعد من رواية يوسف بن خالد السمتي وهو متروك بمرة. Totally, right, بمرة. وعن أبي هريرة عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من غسل ميتا فليغتسل ومن حمله فليتوضأ. And again, it's sunnah to do that. رواه أحمد وأهل السنن ولم يذكر ابن ماجه الوضوء وفي إسناد هذا حديث اضطراب. Right? There's conflict and you can't put it together. قال أبو حاتم رفعه خطأ وإنما هو موقوف لا يرفعه الثقات. Right? It's actually the fatwa of Abu Huraira. والله أعلم. وأن عائشة كان عليه السلام يغتسل من 4 من الجنابة ويوم الجمعة ومن الحجامة وغسل الميت. ورواه أحمد وأبو داود وابن خزيمة والدارقطني والحاكم وإسناده على شرط مسلم. قال أحمد وعلي بن مديني ومحمد بن يحيى الذهلي وأبو زرعة لا يصح في هذا الباب شيء. وقال البخاري حديث عائشة ليس بذاك. وقال البيهقي رواته كلهم ثقات. Right, so notice the difference here. Is they might all be thiqat, but it could still be ma'lul. Right? If those of you were in the class of the ilal class last night, right? They're all reliable in principle, but the combination of them and the content could make it sound really strange. So when you hear all of these people saying it's off, and then Bayhaqi says it's fine, there's a problem there. Right? Remember, Bayhaqi is very late. Right? He's very late. وقال مالك عن عبد الله بن أبي بكر بن عمرو بن حزم أن أسماء بنت عميس امرأة أبي بكر الصديق غسلت أبا بكر حين توفي ثم خرجت فسألت من حضرها من المهاجرين قالت إن هذا يوم شديد البرد وأنا صائمة فهل علي من غسل؟ قالوا لا. وهذا منقطع جيد. There's a gap in the chain, that's true, but it's very strong. So this is Abdullah ibn Amr. So Imam Malik frequently narrates from Abdullah ibn Abi Bakr ibn Amr ibn Hazm, and he's a good narrator. And inshallah, there's a gap in the chain, but it's not a big problem, right? منقطع جيد. So there's a general picture with Imam Malik's hadiths that even if there's inqita' in the sanad, his hadiths are generally good, right? His marasil are generally good, as opposed to other marasil are not, in general. عن قيس بن عاصم أنه his balaghat, for example, right? His marasil and his balaghat, because Imam Malik is very picky about his sources. وعن قيس بن عاصم أنه أسلم فأمره النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بماء وسدر رواه أحمد وأبو داود والنسائي والترمذي وقال حسن. It's recommended to make ghusl when you become Muslim. ومن حديث ثمامة بن أثال أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أمره أن يغتسل لما أسلم. وكذا جاء في مسند أحمد وابن خزيمة من رواية أبي هريرة، ولكنه في الصحيحين عن أبي هريرة أنه انطلق إلى نخل قريب من مسجد فاغتسل ثم جاء فأسلم. So it's different. It's not that the Prophet ﷺ commanded him, but rather he made the ghusl. There's a difference. وعن عائشة قالت لما ثقل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في مرضه الذي مات فيه قال أصلى الناس فقالوا لا يا رسول الله وهم ينتظرونك فقال ضعوا لي ماء في المخضب in a pot. قالت ففعلنا فاغتسل ثم ذهب لينوء to get up فأغمي عليه and he passed out. ثم أفاق فقال أصلى الناس قلنا لا وهم ينتظرونك قال ضعوا لي ماء في المخضب. قالت فاغتسل ثم ذهب لينوء to get up فأغمي عليه ثم أفاق وذكرت الحديث في اغتساله إثر الإغماء. Right. وهو في الصحيحين فإذا شرع الاغتسال من الإغماء if it's sunnah to make ghusl after passing out فمشروعيته للمجنون بطريق الأولى. Right. قال الشافعي وبلغني أنه قل مجنون يجن إلا يحتلم has a wet dream. وعن زيد بن ثابت أنه رأى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم تجرد لإحرامه واغتسل. Right? So the ghusl of إحرام. ورواه الترمذي وقال حسن غريب وهو من رواية عبد الرحمن ابن أبي الزناد وقد اختلف فيه. Right, so this is Abu Zinad. He's he's a good narrator, but his son Abdul Rahman is not so good. وروى أحمد عن عائشة نحوه. وفي حديث, so recommendation there of making ghusl for إحرام. وفي حديث جابر بن عبد الله الذي في المناسك أن أسماء بنت عميس ولدت محمد بن أبي بكر بالشجرة التي عند ذي الحليفة فأرسلت إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كيف أصنع؟ قال اغتسلي واستثفري بثوب وأحرمي. Right, so the ghusl still applies even if you're on your period or something like that. And subhanallah, right, it just tells us, how Muhammad Hashir I was told by some people in Jordan, like people who are like village people, that in the past women used to be working in the fields and they just give birth and dig a hole, bury the kind of the blood and things like that, and just keep going. Is that something you see in Kenya?
Yeah, happens.
So a woman gives birth and just keeps working?
Yeah, like women when they give, like, yeah, that happens in very remote areas, like when they are, because like majority of the time you find like it's not possible for them to stop working. For example, in pastoral nomads, like men have gone to look after the animals, or they're in the market, other women fetching water, so the whole day she's the only one there, and she's supposed to look after the home and everything that's there, so she can't just stop doing that.
SubhanAllah. So reason 5,022 why I have to go to Kenya. So I think it's very important. It applies to men and women, right? And that it's not, it's we have a problem right? We have a genuine problem, and it affects your deen eventually because you can't deal with difficulty ever, right? You can't deal with walking for a long time. You can't deal with uncertainty, right? You can't deal with stress, right? That's the thing now in the army, right? In the US Army, they used to, I mean, okay, sometimes insult them and abuse them, right, to toughen them up. But now you can, in the army, you can, if you feel stressed, you can just say, no, I feel stressed, and that's it. And that it's over. So there's, Allahu Alam. I remember there was a grandfather in my school when I was in primary school. There was this grandfather of a number of the students, like, and they lived right next to the school. We went to visit him once. So he was maybe 80 or 90, I don't know how old he was. But he was Scottish. And he said that when I was 10, my dad from Scotland, he told me to go and fix the wall. So they have if you fly at many places in England, you fly over and you see they have, fly over England, there's all these green squares, right? All these fields. And so in many areas, the fields are divided with not with fences, but with stone walls, right? There's lots of stones, so they have stone wall fences. They've been there for a long time. So basically, go and check that this wall is there and make sure it hasn't come down because, then the sheep will get over, right? So he goes out and he's a little kid, 10 years old, and he goes out and there's a mist comes down and he gets lost, right? So he just comes back 3 days later and that's it. So 3 days later, this kid, 10-year-old kid comes back, and his main thing is you don't come back with the job undone. You know, it's okay to be lost. Nothing's going to happen to you. Just sit there. Um, it doesn't matter where you are, and you'll eventually find out where it is if it goes wrong. And so he comes back 3 days later, right? So I remember that. I mean, that was just a one, but this is how people used to do things, right? Um, yeah, I remember I was teaching in California. I asked the kids who used to walk to school. Like nobody walks to school. And then I was like, oh, maybe it's kind of dangerous, right? And maybe it's genuinely dangerous. So then they built there was a school that was built right next to the Islamic school. Um, so they built this Islamic school, and then what this other school. So that all these non-Muslims, their kids are going to school by themselves, you know, 11-year-old, 12-year-old. So I'm used to that picture, like little kids walk to school, and then suddenly like, oh, we can't do that, it's not safe, right? And so it's not good, you know. There are dangers out there, it's true, but there's always been dangers out there. You know, in Kenya, are there rapists? Are there thieves? Are there hyenas? There's everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, they are kind of yeah, especially if you are not in this like larger towns, then there's more dangers because kind of you are coming out. It's like there are animals around. For example, uh, when we are in primary school, like we had lions, mainly hyenas, coming into our school, and we end up like we chase them and kill them. They like all the kids. They try to kill them. So sometimes we
So,
interact with snakes around the classroom while playing. Like
yeah.
there's a lot of things out
But
there,
also,
but
are
you
there
can,
are there dangerous people as well?
yeah, in such areas like it's rare because if you kind of hurt a kid or anything happens, you will be kind of people will come after you immediately. But there's time when there's like war kind of between the
Yeah.
tribes. That's when it's very dangerous.
Yeah. But the
So
point is,
yeah,
it's okay to like, I remember I was teaching my son. He was on a motorbike. It's too big. It was like 125 cc. They were young, right? But it's 125 cc, and he's like, he's putting in first gear, right? In first gear, you go about 10 to 15 miles an hour. It's not that fast. So I was running in front of them. So and I'm holding the thing so that if it goes out of control, I can press the kill switch. So then I'm showing them how to get into second gear. Second gear is to get a bit faster. So then I told him, look, when you go into second gear, I can't run after you. So like to say, Dad, is that dangerous? I said, yeah, it's dangerous. And if a car comes around the corner and you don't see it, you will hit the car and you will die. I was like, oh. So it's one thing to be reckless, meaning you just do dangerous things for no reason and you don't care. The other thing is that you can't do things because they're dangerous. That's not very good. Like, oh, I can't do that. That's dangerous. So, well, everything is dangerous. Driving a car is very dangerous. It's very dangerous to drive a car, right? Any day you can die driving a car, right? So we live in this world where that with technology and whatever things are, we're not used to dealing with risk, but like risk is part of life. It's okay. And it's not good to be in a situation where like we're too fragile. So here's this lady, she goes on Hajj and she gives birth on Hajj. What woman would give them, they wouldn't let her on the plane, would they? Right? If you are, they're not gonna let you on the plane.
Yeah.
She's going on a camel. Like imagine that thing, access to water, she's pregnant, right? She still goes, right?
I once met a woman who just like they were like in the area. All the people are gone. She's only left her and had like two kids who are like one is I think 3 years or the other one is like 5, 6, and then she just gave birth to her baby like 3 days or something like that, and she has to leave them with the baby, and then it's in the wild like just their hut, their family and another family, but the others like they have gone to fetch water. Others the whole day. The others have gone to the town, so she has to go c- like more than 5 to 6 miles away to bring the milk canoes that like I used to carry the home and everything, like the caravan one. She has to go and look for them and bring them home. So she has to leave home the baby, 3 days old, and the kids have daughter who is like 5, and then the son who is like 3 or 2.
There we go. SubhanAllah.
But she doesn't seem worried, so like it's natural. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, because it's all relative, right? It's all relative.
yeah,
SubhanAllah. Yeah, my mom said the same thing. She said in when she was in India, this is what, like 40 years ago. It's like you see 6-year-olds. The 6-year-olds, they run the house. There's a 6-year-old girl and she's there with the babies and that's it. Alhamdulillah. I think it's very, very important. The whole thing about teenager and it's not good. Right. And the other thing then as well is dealing with difficulty, right? So the Jalil, you're married? I think he's fallen asleep now.
yeah. For
Abdul
us,
Jalil?
like
Go ahead, Muhammad.
the time you start holding a baby like independently is like mm, so like if you, like I have a brother who is 3 years younger than me, and then a sister who is like 3 years younger than him. Like we have almost kind of almost 4 years older than her. So for her, I was left with her. Like when I was young, like my mom and my other sibling, they go and do their work, and I'm left with her like to take care of her. So every
Yeah.
time it's like that. You are not left with the child who is after you, but like the second one, you'll be left alone with that child. You can't carry them. You'll just struggle with it, sit
Yeah.
there. But
Yeah. And you just work it out, right? You just work it out.
yeah, you
Okay.
learn how to hold the child. Like at the end of like 2, 3 days, you'll realize, oh, I can do it.
Yeah. And also, you look at Asma bint Umays, she was married to Sayyidina, first she's married, I don't know who her first husband was, but she was married to Sayyidina Ja'far, then married to Sayyidina Abu Bakr, and then married to Sayyidina Ali,
Yeah,
right? So is that stressful for a woman to be married to different men? Yes. Is it difficult for a man to be married to a woman who's been married to different men? Yes,
yeah,
right? But that's
yeah,
okay, right? It's okay. Right? We can deal with, so this thing about dealing with difficulties is a problem. It's really, really important. So when you have like, oh, I can't deal without internet, I can't deal without electricity, I can't deal with married to a woman who's older than me or younger than me or has this background. It's okay. Just as you mentioned, just work it out. Like just I don't know what to do. So what are the instructions? I don't have ChatGPT. How do I look after a baby? It's like it's okay. Just work it out, right? And so this is a very important kind of way of living. Wallahu a'lam. Okay, ولدت محمد ibn. So this is Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr as-Siddiq. Right, his son is Qasim ibn Muhammad, who is one of the fuqaha sab'a. التي عند حليفة فأرسلت إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كيف أصنع؟ قال اغتسلي واستنثري بثوب وأحرمي. Right, to استنثري, block the blood with ثوب. رواه مسلم. وعن ابن عمر أنه كان لا يقدم. So يقدم means to go ahead of somebody. يقدم, to come to. مكة إلا بات بذي طوى حتى يصبح ويغتسل ثم يدخل مكة نهارا، ويذكر أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فعله أخرجاه، واللفظ لمسلم. قال مالك عن نافع إن ابن عمر كان يغتسل لإحرامه قبل أن يحرم ولدخول مكة ولوقوفه عشية عرفة. رواه الشافعي عن علي ورواه الشافعي عن علي. واعلم أن في باقي الاغتسالات مقيس على ما ذكر لعلة الاجتماع because you are gathering. Right. باب التيمم. Okay, let's stop here. Let's go to our usul then, inshallah.